Hello everybody, it's Splash and I'm back today on New Year's Day 2014 with the second part of my complete chronological look at every UK Bluray Steelbook. Yesterday we did the first 20, so we're going to continue on with the next 20 here. Although there is actually 21 in this video, the list that I'm going off actually has two Steelbooks at the same number. They should really be separate, but we'll get to that in a short while. But it does even out because later on there's a Steelbook on the list that, in my opinion, is not a UK Steelbook. That's a long time in the future, and that's Testament to the Dark Roots of Thrash, which is a German import. All Day Long has a German rating on it, but it's in the UK list because the person who made the list is a fan of the band. So, not really right, but that will be removed from mine. So there is still the same amount of Steelbooks, it's just I class the one that I'm going to show briefly as two different numbers. And so we'll get to that very soon, as I say, because it's coming up pretty shortly, about 3-4 Steelbooks in. So the first one we have today, following on from yesterday when we had Psycho, which was released on the 2nd of August 2010. 3 weeks later we got Flash Gordon, the 30th anniversary edition. This had previously been released as a 25th anniversary edition DVD Steelbook, so they went back to the well on this one. Did Optimum, they've done this a few times. They did it with Highlander as well, bringing out Steelbook on Blu-ray just after they brought one out on DVD. And this is interesting because this is one of the only ones I've got here in this collection. But I think it's the only one that even says on the top there, so you can see Blu-ray and CD. So technically it's a Blu-ray and CD Steelbook, if you like. And of course, because it was the olden days, there was unfortunately no inside out work, and also the printed back and everything, which is odd because Optimum had been pretty good with Highlander not to do that. So there's the disc and there's the soundtrack by Queen. But yeah, so it was a step backwards in terms of how the Steelbook was presented. This is also the only Steelbook in this entire video which I believe is not out of print yet, so it can still be picked up. So we move on now to one that sold out pretty quickly back when it was first released, and that is the original Kickass Steelbook. There has been a re-release since then. This came out on the 6th of September 2010, and it's a really cool Steelbook, even though it does have printed logo and printed back. It's just a really cool sort of kick-ass front, I suppose. The only thing that ruins it is the ratings there, which I don't like. But there is 3 discs. You've got the Blu-ray of the movie, you've got the second disc, which was DVD, but it has all the special features on it, and then also the DVD movie disc as well. For some reason they put all the extras on DVD, not Blu-ray. Nice inside artwork though as well, which is really a theme with Kick-Ass Steelbooks as we'll go forward in the coming years. But yeah, it's still one of my favourite films over the last 4 or 5 years. Next up then we had Robin Hood, and this was another Universal Steelbook, and yes, as you guessed it, still with the printed backs and printed logos. But this version does have Blu-ray, DVD, and a nice booklet as well. I think it's a bit of a script. And interestingly, the second disc is special features. So again, it was a case from Universal that they put the special feature disc, everything on DVD rather than Blu-ray. But at least they had some nice inside artwork there. And this one was released on the 13th of September. So now we come to the one which is down as one Steelbook, but it is technically 2. And that is Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. These were both HMV exclusives, out on the 20th of September 2010. For whatever reason, they decided to make a double play and a triple play. I could understand if they did a Blu-ray disc and a DVD disc, which they'd done in the past with 2012 and District 9, but for whatever reason, Disney decided to do this, and one of the very few Disney Steelbooks from back pre-Zavvi had taken over from Disney to do the Disney releases. You got printed front and backs, The only difference really on the front artwork is that some of the back artwork is slightly different. Obviously this has got a nice gold banner. This is the one that I bought originally on release, and this one I picked up later on when it was out of print on eBay for about 12 quid. The backs are pretty much similar. Obviously the only difference is one has a digital copy disc, a Disney file disc, and the other one doesn't. Rather odd really. And of course Disney file discs are pretty much dead in the water now. I'm pretty sure that the inside outlook will be the same on both, so I won't bother to show. Not that it's that great anyway. I won't bother to show on both. But I will actually just double check, just to make sure that it isn't different, because you never know. But you know, it's not like this is the same steelbook, but one has yeah, it's the same inside outlook. It's not like you know, both was exactly the same steelbook, and the only difference was some art cards, which happens later on with Fast and Furious 6. That is only one steelbook on the list, because it is identical steelbook. These are completely different, as you can see. But again, quite bizarre as to why they did two. Maybe they were going to do a DVD and a Blu-ray, and they decided not to. I don't know, but rather strange nevertheless. So on to another one, which originally wasn't on the UK Blu-ray steelbook list. This is the Human Centipede first sequence, and this was released on the 4th of October, and it was only available through the Eureka Store website, Human Centipede, sorry, website. It's Eureka who released it, and so I think there's only a couple of thousand made, and it came with a t-shirt, which I've still got bagged. I will never ever wear that t-shirt, it's pretty disgusting. But yeah, I mean, obviously this got released later on with the second film in a double pack, but this is a UK steelbook. It has UK ratings on it. Testament does not, but I'll stop going about Testament because it's not relevant right now. So yeah, next up we have another big out of print title, Predators. Now this one was a Play exclusive, and this was one of the very first ones to actually sell out. I think it might have been the very first one to sell out before release. This one was sold out about a month before release. Unfortunately, mine's been through the wars. It does have a couple of small dings, but rather than trying to replace this, because I figure who'd want this version with a few little small niggles, and also I wouldn't be able to get a copy for less than 40-50 quid, and you know, it is printed back, Blu-ray banner, the usual suspects, and this was Fox, no inside outlook either, so it's not exactly, I mean, it's an important steelbook because it did sell out very, very fast, but there are better steelbooks out there. In fact, both of the Predator steelbooks I think are better. Well, it's pretty cool and front artwork there. So next up we have, is I just move myself slightly, so my legs are going dead. You'll notice as well that I've already taken all the slipcases off this time, so it should be a little quicker, because yesterday it did take quite a while. So this is another first. This is the first jumbo steelbook with Doctor Who Series 5, and yeah, I mean, I've never been a huge fan of these jumbos. I mean, they're not very attractive, especially not inside, and you've got all this nasty black stuff. This does have some art cards inside in the booklet, but yeah, this surprisingly sold out pretty fast. So did the DVD one. I have both, but they're not particularly well loved in my collection. To be honest, I've never watched this series either, because I can't watch Doctor Who with Matt Smith for whatever reason. Just doesn't do it for me. So then after that was released on the 8th of November, by the way. 2 weeks later we had the H&B exclusive of Karate Kid. The remake, not the original, that would have been nice. This one dropped in price so much, down to around a £5. I still think you can get it for a £5, but it is technically out of print. But there's so many out there, and nobody really wants it. So if you really did want it, you could go and get it. I mean, the only good thing about this is that, you know, it's a nice clean steel. There is that. And it's a double play. I mean, that's basically, and there's not much more I can say about it, unfortunately. there are some less desirable steelbooks in this video, but then there are some of the most desirable as well. So, you know, that's the great way of collecting. You know, you get the rise and fall. So these next two are actually definitely the rise. Two of the most sought after steelbooks, but for all the wrong reasons, unfortunately. First up we have, and these are both the very first proper Eureka releases. This one is, of course, Metropolis. It is probably still one of the most sought after, because it hasn't had a re-release. You know, Thor, Captain America probably dropped down a little bit. Star Trek certainly has. So this is probably the most wanted now. 1932 film by Fritz Lang, and this was the first master cinema release to get a steelbook release as well. Pretty plain back, of course, but nice print artwork there. But it is, of course, a rectangular steelbook. Now, the reason why this is so rare is, of course, of the now much publicised fire that was caused, I think, at the Sony building, where a lot of stock was kept, not just Sony's, but Eureka's. BBC lost a lot of stuff as well. With the riots, a lot of stuff was burned, and they never decided to reprint them, these steelbooks. I think at the time, because obviously this was back in 2010, and this was released on the 22nd of November, it was a time when steelbooks, you know, the creators of steelbook Scandinavia, they had a limit on 4,000 steelbooks. That was like the minimum for a printer, and now they'll do 1,000 for you. But back then it was still new, and so you had to print 4,000. And I think what happened was, because they'd lost so many, they didn't want to reprint another 4,000 because you know, they probably didn't think they would sell. This was only available for a very short period of time. I can't actually remember when the riots were. I probably should have put that information in. Okay, I'll check it now, and I'll show the next one as well. It's also affected by this, but yeah, you know, Blu-ray DVD and a nice booklet as well. And because not many were sold, because of course it wasn't a really popular title, it then obviously became one when most of the stock, I think probably more than half the stock was destroyed, and so you couldn't get it for love nor money. Still worth around 60-70 quid, sealed. Not much less unsealed. Now, the following week, on the 29th of November, we got the second of the Eureka releases. That is affected Shogun Assassin. This one also really didn't sell that well, and so a lot of the stock was destroyed in that same horrible situation. We've got the Blu-ray DVD copies inside, and some nice inside artwork. And I mean, Shogun Assassin is a really good film. I mean, I ordered it straight away as soon as it was available. I was sort of lucky to order Metropolis, to be honest. But you know, really nice sort of poster artwork as well on the back. Really cool stuff. And again, this one's around the £50, £60 mark, something like that, sealed, and not much less unsealed. So I'm just going to put in London riots on my iPod, just so I can see when it happened. Wow, list of riots in London on Wikipedia. There's more than one. What a surprise! Let's see, what day was it on? Looks like this was in 2011, actually. This is scintillating stuff, isn't it? But, you know, you try and learn a little bit, I suppose, at the same time. We'll move on to the next one, because this is an absolute monstrosity. The Twilight Saga. It's come out at the end of 2010, November. What day was this released on? This is actually released on the 6th of December. Now, hang on a minute. Looking at this, it says that 2011 rights were from the 6th to the 11th of August. That can't be right, because surely they wouldn't have sold out before that, but maybe they did. Maybe it was August 2011. Oh yeah, Tottenham. Okay, so the rights were actually in August. That's quite remarkable, isn't it? That those steelbooks were out there for quite a while. I didn't realise they were out there that long. They were out there for 8-9 months, and hardly anyone bought them. Okay, so yeah, I thought the rides were in early 2011 or late 2010, but no, they were in August 2011. So, you know, those steelbooks, Shogun Assassin and Metropolis, were out for quite some time and didn't sell. So, you know, people had plenty of time to buy them, I suppose. But it's always the way something can increase in value just because there's not many of them. And for those two, there is, you know, probably a couple of thousand. There are steelbooks now with less of those about, but for whatever reason they have that higher value. Okay, yes. So yeah, Twilight Saga. This was released on December the 6th, 2010. This took me a long time to buy this, by the way. I ended up actually buying this quite cheap because I had no interest in the films really. It was just to have it as part of the collection. I actually spent more on the DVD copy for my DVD collection. I spent 25 quid on that just to have it because it had gone out of print. The DVD copy went out of print before the Blu-ray copy. Now, the reason why this went out of print to start with, even though it's not a great steelbook, you know, it's printed all over the place. I don't think there's any inside-out work. Oh, there is. But the reason why this happened was because, at the time, obviously, Twilight films were very popular, and in their infinite wisdom, E1, who released this steelbook, where's the Blu-ray gone? They decided to bring out the trilogy, or the saga so far, the first 3 films. I don't know how many, did they make 5, 6 films in the end? Anyway, these first 3 films, they decided to release them as a steelbook, and that's it. They didn't bring out an Amaray copy and a steelbook copy. This was the only way to get them. So a lot of girls probably have this on their shelf to this day, and it's the only steelbook they've ever got, and that's why it went out of print, because it was the only way to get the 3 films together at that time. And they never brought out another steelbook in this country for Twilight. What a surprise. Nobody wanted this one, so they thought, you know what, no one's going to buy the rest. So, yeah, it's a bit of a shame I've even got those 3 there, but that's the way it goes. Okay, we're going to get back on track now, because this video is probably going to be longer than the last one, because of that little detour there with the London rides and things. So I guess I'll learn something new every day. So yeah, up next we have another really nice steelbook. It's the Expendables. This was not an exclusive to anywhere, I don't believe, no. This came out on the 13th of December, right in time for Christmas. There was actually 2 steelbooks released on that day. We'll get to the other one in a minute. And yeah, this is a pretty cool cover, nice back artwork as well. Again, at least it was a nice clean back. This is from Lionsgate, who've never really done us wrong there. Unfortunately, no inside artwork, but again, we have Blu-ray and DVD copies, and the Inferno making of the Expendables on DVD. I don't know what they did in 2010 to make us only have DVDs in with the Blu-rays for special features, but you never get that now. So at least that's changed. And the other one released on the same day, 13th of December 2010, was Salt, HMB exclusive, and this one's been a long time out of print. Really nice glossy steelbook. Angelina Jolie on the front and back, so that doesn't really hurt at all. And some cool inside artwork as well. Still haven't got around to watching this film. I keep putting it off for whatever reason. I've always kept putting it off. It's now over 3 years. One day I will watch it, but for whatever reason I haven't yet. But I will do. I'll try anyway. So the next one we had was the last one of 2010. And this one was again another one that wasn't an exclusive, but it wasn't sold many places. Play and Amazon, HMB I think had it, but it didn't last long at all. It sold up pretty quickly. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Again, this has had a re-release. But yeah, you know, and I had printed logos, printed back, but for whatever reason it just sold really fast. I think it caught a lot of people by surprise. Double play release, and this came out right around Christmas. I do remember actually getting this right before Christmas. As every year, whatever release comes out right on Christmas, you usually get it delivered, you know, a day or 2 before. Which I had this year with Elysium, getting it a few days early. But yeah, I do remember getting this right before Christmas, and I think I actually wrapped it up for Christmas as well to myself, for whatever reason, which is fair enough. So yeah, that was another one. That sold pretty fast. So now we're going to go into 2011. An interesting note as well, that for some reason I thought that Captain America and Thor came out in 2010. and I thought that for years, but it's actually 2011, so we won't be getting them until probably another 1 or 2 videos. So the very first release of 2011 was Resident Evil Afterlife, a nice glossy steelbook. Unfortunately, it was only 2D, a 2D release, not a 3D, but really cool artwork. This one, I'm pretty sure, is an HMV exclusive. Let me just check. Yeah, it was. 10th of January this one came out. I actually do now have the 1-4 German import, where this is the 3D edition. I also have the 3D German steelbook of the 5th film and 2D UK steelbook of the 5th film. So way too many Resident Evil movies, but you can't have too many of them. Really cool inside outlook as well there. And yeah, this has been a long time out of print, but again, I think you can still pick this up relatively cheap if you want to. Another one that sold out, but this one took a while to sell out, is Machete, another HMV exclusive. And you know, obviously now we're getting Machete Kills from Zabi. This one was released on the 11th of March, so it was a 2-month gap from the previous release. So again, it's still at this point, we're in 2011, and we're only getting you know, a few steelbooks a year still. The first year there was 3, the second year there was 9, the third year 22, and this year 2011 there was only 29. So again, if we could go back to those days, it would be all good. You know, got some nice artwork on the back. It's all clean. It wasn't embossed or debossed. It wasn't glossy, but there's a nice matte finish to it. Single disc. I really should throw all this crap away. I don't know why I keep it, to be honest. I think I'm going to go through all my Blu-rays and throw out all that stuff. Really awesome inside artwork. Some of the nicest inside artwork I've seen. Really cool stuff. A really cool film. I think I might have to watch this again before Machete Kills comes out. So then we had another month before the next release, and this again was one of those rare online exclusives, like Avatar, and this was from Warner Brothers. It's Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, and this is the only Harry Potter steelbook they've ever released in the UK. You know, I don't know why they didn't bother to bring out Part 2. I think it was because Part 1 didn't sell that well. It took a long time to go out of print, but it is now out of print, because it was available everywhere. And obviously when you've got printed logos and printed back, it's never really going to, you know, for collectors, they're not really going to want them. So we have the movie disc, special features disc, which at least is a Blu-ray, and then DVD copy as well. So nice inside artwork though, but it was a shame I had to import Volume 2 from Germany. Nice case, the steelbook as well, but yeah, a bit of a shame. I've got the first 6 movies just in a 7-disc Amaray box set, but it would be nice if they did, you know, give us the first 6 steelbooks. I did used to have the German steelbooks, but I ended up just getting rid of them in the end. I didn't like all the German writing, to be honest. So yes, that was April 11th, and then our next steelbook is another HMV exclusive. They really were on top of the steelbook exclusives at the time. The Green Hornet. This was released on the 9th of May. And this is still to this day one of the best steelbooks. Just a shame it was for a not so good of a film. You know, the detail here, we have some really awesome embossing and debossing here on this grill type with the Green Hornet logo. It just looks so good. I mean, there's probably people who would pay 7-8 quid, which is pretty much the price it is now to buy this. It's even though it's technically out of print, I think it's still around. People will pay 7-8 quid just for that front cover, just for the steelbook. Forget about the film inside. Some nice back artwork as well, sort of like a glossy finish as well. Really well done. Good stuff really from Sony. And then we have the disc. Throw all this stuff away. And some pretty cool inside artwork as well. As I say, if this had been for another film, maybe it would be one of the most wanted, but you know, it wasn't for that reason. But still a very, very cool steelbook indeed. So that's the Green Hornet. We've got 2 left to do in this video. And the first one is Paul. Now this one was not an exclusive to anywhere, I don't believe. But again, just like Scott Pilgrim, sold out very fast. It was gone within a couple of months. I think it did come back later, but it's gone again. And you know, it is a pretty cool release. This one came out on the 13th of June, so about 5 weeks after Green Hornet, and again, nice glossy finish, nice clean steelbook. And this is from Universal, so it's a bit of a surprise as well. Never still gotten around to watching this film, actually. Digital copy code still in there unused, but it's probably a dud disc now. For whatever reason, I just never got around to watching it, even though I'm a big fan of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost films. Just, this isn't part of the Cornetto trilogy, so never really put it as a high priority. And at the time when this came out, I wasn't a big Seth Rogen fan. A bit more now, but not then, so I didn't really want to listen to him as Paul. But a very cool steelbook indeed. And our last one for this video is another really cool one. This is from HMB, and this is from the 13th of June, so again, same day as Paul, and that is True Grit. Another out of print title, and this one sold pretty well, pretty fast as well. Really nice Bluray Steelbook here. Again, one of the very few at the time. The only other one I can think of, was 2012 before this, obviously Green Hornet. But a nice, that was glossy. This is a nice matte finish, but with a nice embossing of the title and also the border there. Nice clean steel, which I only just took the backing card off this about 6 months ago for some reason. I'd never taken the backing card off. Pretty silly, really. This was the start of one thing, though, and that is Paramount blank discs. Good old Paramount blank discs. They're still around to this day. Blu-ray, DVD, there, and there's the inside artwork. A really nice release for a really good film from the Coen brothers. And, one of the better steelbooks of the year. Probably one of the better ones of this video, to be honest. So yeah, that was number 40. So that'll do for this video. The chronological Odyssey continues very soon, probably tomorrow, with the next 20, numbers 41 to 60. That covers the Adjustment Bureau, which is still available, all the way through to number 60, which was Super 8. And that's most of 2011, the rest of 2011 covered. That covers the period of June to December. So it was starting to pick up steam. The first 6 months of the year hadn't had that many steelbooks, but the remainder, start to have a few a month. And we get some good steelbooks in this next video, but there's still quite a few that are still not out of print, including some exclusives. So be sure to check that out when that video goes up. This one's actually ended up being longer than the last one, probably because of the London riots thing that I went on about. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. You can also see now why me doing every single one in one video would never have worked, because it would have took a whole day probably. It's taken me half an hour nearly to talk about 20 steelbooks. Can you imagine how long it would take for 300? Well, it'd be about 7-8 hours. So I don't think anyone wants to sit there for 7-8 hours and watch me, just drivel on about these steelbook releases. But yeah, thanks again for watching this video. I'll see you all again very soon with the next 20. Until then, thank you very much. Take care for now.